2 weeks ago, I switched from using the iPhone 15 Pro Max to the iPhone 15 Pro as my main device after using the 15 Pro Max for a full month. And what I found really is that there was one really nice benefit, one surprise, and 3 downgrades in moving to the regular 15 Pro. The biggest and most obvious benefit of the iPhone 15 Pro over the 15 Pro Max is the size. I never really felt just looking at them side by side in photos or even in my hands that the sizes are really that different. The Max just doesn't look that much bigger. And when I look at the specs on Apple's website next to each other, I think, man, it's only half an inch taller and a quarter inch wider. It's just not that much of a difference. But when you're actually used to using one and then you switch over, the difference is very noticeable. I used the 14 Pro Max for most of the last year and the 15 Pro Max for a month before switching to the 15 Pro, and going smaller is fun. The smaller iPhone just feels more comfortable to use. I can reach more things one-handed, and the weight difference is substantial, making it feel more like a novelty when comparing it to the larger Pro Max. Now, I don't have big hands, so most of what I do is two-handed on both of these devices anyway. I use one hand to hold the device, one hand to navigate usually, and then both hands to type, so that aspect is the same for me between these two iPhones. If I'm brushing my teeth or I have a drink in my hand, I can use the iPhone in one hand and scroll up and down on Threads or Twitter or check email or whatever one-handed, and it's just much more comfortable with the Pro instead of the Pro Max. As for pocket fit, there's no denying that the regular Pro with the 6.1-inch display fits easier in my pockets and feels less noticeable compared to the 6.7-inch display of the Pro Max. I generally don't have an issue with most of my pants or shorts, but sometimes the Pro Max does peek out a bit at the top, and when sitting down, the Pro Max can push into my hip just a little bit. And yes, as you can see, I am using cases, which adds just a slight bit more bulk because, well, I'm a case person and I like it. But if you've been eyeing this case, this is the StarPeak Mag-Easy Case 4 from channel partner Pitaka. This is the StarPeak Mag-Easy Case 4 from channel partner Pitaka, and this is the thinnest and lightest MagSafe compatible aramid fiber case for iPhone. Made with the same aramid fibers used in aerospace and woven together, this Mag-Easy Case 4 is perfect for somebody who wants a case as light and thin as possible, but also that provides scratch and ding protection without getting in the way. Plus, there's a built-in metal camera lip for protection. The 3D texture grip makes the iPhone feel more secure when holding, and with the chamfered edge, it just feels great to wrap my hand around. I really like this StarPeak Milky Way Galaxy version of the Mag-Easy Case 4. It was designed by fashion editor and Paris art director Jonathan James to resemble the Milky Way Galaxy as seen from Earth. There's also the beautiful StarPeak Over the Horizon design that resembles light brimming over the horizon of a mountain range. I just love the look of these cases, and you can pick up one of these StarPeak Mag-Easy Case 4s today using the link in the description below, and my thanks to Pitaka for sponsoring this video. When it comes to battery life, I was actually pretty surprised with the iPhone 15 Pro this year. In previous years, the battery was quite disappointing compared to the Pro Max, and that was the big reason I stuck with the 14 Pro Max. This year, although not quite up to the Pro Max level, the 15 Pro has had no problem getting me through a full day. Battery anxiety is real, and it makes no sense for somebody who usually works from home and can charge whenever he wants, but I have it. With the 15 Pro Max, I was averaging just over 5 hours of screen on time each day, and ending with about 25 to 40% battery left over when I went to bed. With the 15 Pro, I've averaged just under 5 hours of active screen on time with a lot higher actual screen idle time than the Pro Max, and still ending the day with about 25 to 40% battery left over. In both cases, I basically used the same apps and used them as I normally would. Video and podcasts and Safari seem to be my main apps. If I look a little closer, I did spend a bit more time away from my devices last week, and I did use my Pro Max for a while on Saturday and Sunday, bringing the actual usage down just a bit on the iPhone 15 Pro. But this shows that the battery on both of these devices has actually been very good for how I use my devices. And I'm actually quite surprised and quite happy with the iPhone 15 Pro battery. What I'm not surprised by is the first downgrade by moving from the Pro Max to the iPhone 15 Pro, and that is the display. Yes, these displays have all the same features. They are both Super Retina XDR displays with 460 pixels per inch. They get super bright with 1600 nits for HDR and up to 2000 nits for outside. They both have dynamic island and ProMotion and adaptive refresh rates and always on. The only difference is the display size, and the Pro Max is just better for me. Like I said, I basically use these devices two-handed anyway, and the larger 6.7-inch display on the Pro Max makes it more comfortable for me to do my two-thumb typing. There's more room to move, so I feel less cramped in my hand, and I find that I make fewer mistakes when typing on the larger display. I can instantly see the number of mistakes I make typing when I move to a smaller display. Even after fully adjusting to the 15 Pro over the last couple of weeks, I'm still not quite as accurate as I am on the larger Pro Max. When you're reading websites or scrolling through social media, you do get more on the display with the Pro Max, but I wouldn't say it is a lot more. You get a couple extra lines of text maybe, or slightly more of an image, but it's not really substantial. However, if you do need to make elements on the screen larger for eyesight issues or whatever, you can use the zoomed in display mode, and the larger display on the Pro Max will keep more information on the display, which is more noticeable in the zoomed in mode than in the standard mode. Also, who doesn't just like a larger display for watching video, whether that's YouTube or watching Netflix in bed or any other video? Along with the better display for content, the speakers feel louder on the iPhone 15 Pro Max compared to the 15 Pro. I spend probably a couple hours a day listening to podcasts and music and live TV using my iPhone, and about 50% of that is using the built-in speakers. I like to use the speakers when sitting at my desk here, or on the top of my shower when I'm showering, or on the kitchen counter, and even in my pocket as I walk around the backyard. I don't usually use my Mac for audio because I want to be able to just pick up my device and walk away if I'm in the middle of something without having to stop it on one device and start it on another and hope that the syncing worked. For whatever reason, I prefer playing it directly from the phone. The speakers in the 15 Pro Max sound like they are fuller with better highs and better lows, but when I test them with an SPL meter, they are basically the same, with the Pro Max sometimes just inching a little bit higher. So it seems that when it comes to loudness, these phones are about the same, but the Pro Max definitely sounds better to my ear. It's like me trying to sing versus Adele. One of them is just going to sound better. And the last downgrade when switching from the iPhone 15 Pro Max to the iPhone 15 Pro is not having that 5x tetraprism lens. This one hurt a bit because when I really wanted to use it, I only had the iPhone 15 Pro on me. All of the cameras on the 15 Pro and Pro Max are good. They allow us to get great shots of family and landscapes and whatever, all from our pocket. iPhone Pros have had the 3x zoom lens for a couple of years now, and before that a 2x zoom lens, and it was nice to get that extra bit of reach. The 5x lens on the 15 Pro Max steps that up in a meaningful way for me. It's fun to step through all of the camera lens options and see how close or how much detail you can get with the range from the ultra wide to whatever zoom lens on your iPhone. But during my time with the iPhone 15 Pro Max, I've been able to get great video of my daughter's volleyball games. Not just usable, but great, where I can actually see her face and it isn't just a noisy mess. For the 4 weeks I was using the Pro Max, I was able to get great shots that I had never been able to get with an iPhone before and share them with people without having to describe which blob in a blue shirt was her. The first weekend that I switched over to the Pro and I only had the 3x camera, I was not able to get video that I was happy with, and the big problem with that is I can't go back and get it. The camera system is the reason that I upgrade my iPhone every year. I want to have the best iPhone camera in my pocket that I can because I want to have the best shots to remember the moments that, at one time, I knew I wanted to remember. So as you have probably guessed, I will be switching back over to the iPhone 15 Pro Max. Well, actually, I probably need to move to the 15 Plus for a bit, but I will eventually end up on the Pro Max. I feel like the 15 Pro got better this year, and in the last 2 weeks, the battery has been a big improvement over the previous year, and I really am surprised, and I really do like the smaller size in my pocket. However, the Pro Max is just, with its bigger display, better speakers, and better 5x camera, it's won me over again. But what do you guys think about my list of upgrades and downgrades when switching from the Pro Max to the Pro? Are you still trying to decide which one to go with? Let me know in the comments down below. If you want to see the reasons that I actually do like and prefer using a case, check out this video right over here. Hit the thumbs up button if you liked it, hit subscribe if you want, and I'll see you next time.